jump into some of the specific fad diets that you asked about, I wanted to first kind of give you some words of caution. Not even my own words of caution. So one book that I really, really love, and yes, I have a degree in nutrition. However, it's a lot of things to remember, and something that helps refresh my memory and maybe gives me another look or outlook on things is this great book called The Complete Food and Nutrition Guide. It's written by another dietitian. It's put out by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. It's written in very easy language, so someone that is not science trained like I am, you could easily go and buy this for $20 on Amazon. It can answer a lot of your questions, but it just cannot give you the tailored one-on-one approach that working with a dietitian can do. So this is just more so information, something that I found in here that I really, really like that I wanted to share with you. Excuse me. So a couple things that you need to be cautious about before considering trying any fad diet. So oftentimes there's terminology around the fad diets that we see that can kind of like, oh, like, is this going to be something I can stick with for the next 90 years, or is this only supposed to be done for the next 90 days? Honestly, I'm someone who preaches and works at my clients so hard to have something and help instill in them and empower them to have something they can do for the next 90 years, not the next 90 days. Remember, we're living, diets shouldn't only last 30 days. You want something that's going to be sustainable for you and sustainable lifestyle choices that can help change your life without changing everything that you do. All right, so some of the things that you should be cautious of if this fad diet that you're considering is telling you to do, or what it's going to promise. If it promises rapid weight loss, like you're losing 10 pounds in the first week, no go. Don't even start it. Don't even consider it. It's not worth your time. Why is that? Oftentimes, that rapid weight loss we first see when we're trying a really restrictive fad diet or any of the diets that's not something that's going to help change you in your lifestyle is because of water weight and muscle loss. So if you're doing something like keto, you're going to see a rapid 4 to 8 pound weight loss within that first week, because the whole idea behind keto is that you're getting rid of all of your carbohydrate stores. And when we store carbohydrates, we store water with those carbohydrates in our muscles. So as you're breaking down and utilizing those stores, you're losing all of that water weight. So you're obviously going to see a 4 to 8 pound loss with that water, with that loss, with that restriction right there. And also our body can very easily, if it's not fed, our body can very easily turn to using muscle for energy. It would rather save fat for last. It would much rather use your muscle for energy than anything else. Besides carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the premier energy source that your body prefers and desires. We are built and designed to run on carbohydrates. That's why we have a pancreas that secretes insulin to help us. That's what our brain wants. Our brain wants carbohydrates. So if it's offering you or telling you you're going to lose weight really, really fast, don't do it. Not worth your time. It's going to be muscle loss and water loss. Not worth it. All right, so another thing, if the diet's telling you that you don't need to exercise, you should be scratching your head at this one, right? Because exercise, we know, helps to strengthen not only our heart if you're doing cardio and our muscles, but also your overall health. Exercise has a lot of benefits that can help elongate your life, but also help you feel better too. Exercise releases endorphins, and endorphins make you happy, and happy people don't kill people, just to quote Elle Woods there. But that's really why, find an activity that you enjoy. If you don't like to go to the gym or you don't like to run, don't force yourself to do it. Mowing the lawn counts as exercise, that's activity. Walking your dog counts as exercise, that's activity. If you like to clean, hey, that's exercise, that's activity. That will help you on your weight loss goals and what you're looking towards as well. You need it because it's overall good for our health and weight management too. So if this diet gives you a rigid meal plan or snack plan, don't do it. Why? Because rigid meal plans can take so much effort on your part to try to follow. Like, let's say it has you only eating an apple for breakfast. Well, you're a lot hungrier than just that apple for breakfast. But oh no, this meal plan says I cannot eat an apple, or I can't have anything else other than this apple. What fun is that? Oftentimes these meal plans don't match your lifestyle. They don't match your preferences. So what work how are they helping you anyway? What work are they doing for you? They're not helping you at all. They're only inhibiting you from actually building solid foundations to help you reach your goals. Another thing too, specific food combinations. So if you're reading this diet that says you can only eat peas when you eat your rutabaga, or you can only have chicken when you have rice, like that's just for weight loss. You need that. It's not true. There is no science Like, it's not scientifically proven that if you pair these two foods together that you're going to have weight loss. That's not true. Weight loss happens when you have more calories out than you take in, but only when your body, your hormones are good, you're eating enough, you're active. That's when you will achieve fat loss and weight loss, is when that happens. And if you're only saying like, I will only lose weight when I pair my my chocolate with my almonds, that does not happen. There is no foods that help you specifically lose weight. That does not occur. Another thing is unlimited amounts of some foods and rarely or restricting foods of like other kinds. So if your diet tells you can have an unlimited amount of like cabbage soup, rice, chicken, but you can really have to stay away from anything gluten, anything dairy, because that's going to throw you off your goals, that doesn't help us. That does not help with our overall relationship with food, because if we have a bad relationship with food, we end up only hurting ourselves mentally. You can find yourself with disordered eating, possibly even an eating disorder, and it's not worth it. It's not good for you in the long run. And if you have these overall aversions to these foods, like I can't have cake because cake tastes good and I want to eat more cake and cake will make me fat. That's not good. You shouldn't be telling yourself that you can't have things like that. So just like if it's telling you that you can have so much rice in the world, but you can never have dairy, it's not true. It doesn't really work. I mean, it may work for a little bit, but it's not going to give you long-term results. And if you're somebody who survives on 3 yogurts a day, obviously that's not going to work for you. And lastly, being on a very low calorie diet without the supervision. So if you just found something online that said you can only have 500 calories a day, or there are some out there that say you can only have 1,000 calories a day, that's not the best thing. It won't provide you with the adequate amounts of nutrition. So your body's not going to have all of it needs to function properly. You're not going to have enough calories. You're not going to have enough micronutrients. So it's just not good, you know? And I use the example too, like if you have diabetes and you're insulin resistant, so you're type 1 diabetic and you're not taking enough in, it can actually be really harmful to you and your body. So it's not... You need way more than 500 calories a day to survive. And honestly, you should be eating a lot more than that too. Weight loss doesn't typically happen and stay when you only eat like 1,200 to 1,000 calories. All right, so I've said my piece on that. That was for all of the things that I wanted to touch as far as if your diet is promising these things, you probably shouldn't want to be doing it. So now we're going to jump into keto. Somebody asked me about keto. Thank you, Alyssa. So let's dive into a little bit of the history. Ketogenic diet was originally made for children with epilepsy. There was a whole study done that showed when you take out the carbohydrates, somehow when the body has the ketones, it stops that electrical current, which can cause seizures or have you to have epilepsy. So and I've worked with keto kids during my internship, these kids don't stay on keto for life. At most, it's 2 years, and they have to follow and be in specific laboratory ranges in order for them to be able to go on the ketogenic diet. If it's not safe for them, they don't do it. It's strictly followed. You work with a dietitian, you work with a doctor. You're followed very, very closely while you're on this. A true ketogenic diet, too, is a 4-to-1 fat to protein and carbohydrate ratio. So what that says is that a majority of your calories coming in from the day is going to be from fat. Very minimal from carbohydrates, very minimal from protein. So to put that like in a I guess you could say perspective, it would be about 100 grams of fat a day, let's say, to 25 grams of carbs and 25 grams of protein. Those ketogenic diets that are out there do not follow that. They're actually more like a modified Atkins diet, which is high fat, high protein, low carb. But when you have higher amounts of protein, so if someone says, I'm doing the keto diet, I'm going to eat my chicken all the time and my steak and my lean meats and I'm going to be fine, the body can actually turn protein, so all the proteins that's in the meats and other non-meat products, into glucose, so through gluconeogenesis, a lot easier, and it would actually prefer to do that than try to have ketones in your body or make ketones. So you're not even in ketosis at that point, you're just eating a very restrictive diet, and when you have restrictive diets, you tend to lose weight. Now that's not something that you can really keep off when you have a restrictive diet because it's really hard to follow for a long time. Fat loss can occur in keto, but so will muscle loss. You know, the body prefers, like I said, to use protein before it uses fat. So your body will turn to your muscles and utilize your muscles as energy before it turns to your fat stores. So you wouldn't even get to really having a lot of fat deficit or fat loss until your body's used some of your protein stores. And if you're an athlete or you're working out and you're focused on building your muscle, that's not what you want. You know, you don't want to lose your muscle stores, excuse me. Because it's so restrictive too, it's very hard to stick with for a while. And weight loss will happen rapidly, just like I said before, but that is just because that you are losing the water that's stored with the glycogen in your muscles. It also can claim that it can reduce disease risks. However, any weight loss can help you reduce disease risk. There hasn't been any studies, any strong studies that correlate that going on a ketogenic diet will 100% reduce your cancer risk rate compared to any other diets. No studies like that, they don't occur, they don't happen, they haven't been shown to happen. So the whole thing that it claims is you can reduce your overall disease risk, any weight loss will help you reduce your overall disease risk if you are overweight or obese. So why should we stay away from the ketogenic diet? It's not sustainable because of all that restriction. So if you're in a big Italian family or wherever that you like to have carbs, you know, you want to have a piece of cake on your birthday or you like pasta, all of a sudden you're saying, I can't have it, you know, having this mentality that you can't have the things hurts as well. So obviously if you're going to cut out a whole food source or whole food group, you're going to see weight loss because you're going to see a decrease in intake overall. It also really hurts your relationship with food because you get into this mentality that you're scared. You're scared to eat bread because you've heard that it makes you gain weight. You're scared to eat pasta because you've heard that it makes you gain weight. All of a sudden, you know, fruits and vegetables have turned into the enemy because they have sugar in there, which is a carbohydrate. That's not true. And that's what really, really hurts people in the long run, is that they have these negative behaviors and thoughts towards food, which kind of breaks down their body, and it just breaks down their mentality, and they overall sometimes end up going into like an eating disorder because they have this, I can't eat this, they have the blinders on, and it just hurts them overall. There's also side effects that come with the keto diet. You're going to feel fatigued. You're going to have muscle cramps. You're going to have weakness. You're going to have gas. You're going to have constipation. You're going to have bad breath. You're going to have a headache. You're going to be nauseous. You're also likely to get a rash as well. So obviously, if all of this is happening, your body's not really happy with you. Like I said before, your muscles and your brain prefer to run on carbohydrates. That's when it runs the best way, that's when it runs most smoothly, is when it has carbohydrates. So when you're depriving your body of that, you're making your body work so much harder to turn what you have, your protein stores and your fat stores, into glucose through gluconeogenesis, which then you get drained, you're tired from it. And that's not what we want, obviously. All right, so I hope I answered questions on keto like that. As you can tell, I'm not the biggest fan of a ketogenic diet unless you're someone who has epilepsy and you have not tried it before, as long as you're under medical supervision with an RD like myself and a medical doctor as well. So another thing I was asked about was like the TV diets and the supplements. So common ones would be like the Jenny Craig meals, Nutrisystem, stuff like that, where it's like you send away, you sign up, you say, I'm this weight, I want to be this weight, give me a meal plan, and they just send you the meals in the mail. Hold on. Although it sounds like a great idea, it goes back to the meal plan thing. It's very rigid. And yes, all the food is had for you. However, you end up not being able to really go out with your friends for, like, say, a drink, or for even like going out to eat. Say you really wanted something special, but it's not on your plan. Maybe you don't even like the food that they send you. It doesn't taste good. Also, because all of these meals are made in advance and frozen, they're going to be higher in preservatives and sodium because they have to keep them looking and tasting the same as when they made them. So they're not going to taste as good. They're going to have higher amounts of preservatives, and don't we want to limit preservatives? So why would we want that? Also, diets like Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, any of the ones that send you these things, same with like the shakes and bars, they don't help you build healthy habits. They just tell you this is what you should eat, and this will help you lose weight. It doesn't help you build, why we need to drink more water, what a protein is, why we need protein, how we get it, carbohydrates, everything like that. It doesn't focus on you. It doesn't focus on your goals and your wants other than you want to lose weight. It doesn't even give you specific instruction. It doesn't tell you, this is exactly what you should be doing for exercise. It just tells you, here you go, blanket food. This is what you need to eat and you'll lose weight. And I wish it was that easy, but if you want long-term results, That can't happen. Also, these meals are expensive. You're going to spend a lot of money buying your food and then probably making food for your family too, on the side of this. So you're going to be putting a lot more work on your plate. It doesn't teach you about healthy foods or portion sizes as well. It's pre-portioned and given to you. It doesn't give you a tailored plan or directions when you're done losing weight either. So what are you supposed to do? Let's say you've lost the 50 pounds. Well, now what? It doesn't tell you, okay, do I increase my calories? What do I need to do with my exercise? It doesn't help you with that. There's no person there saying like, okay, this is what we're going to do now. No one's there holding you accountable. And the same thing with the shakes and the bars. There's no variety in your diet. If you're just going to have a protein shake at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you're going to get sick of it really, really, really fast, and you're not going to like it. There's also very little fiber in there too, so you're going to get hungrier a little bit sooner than if you had something with fiber in it, but you're also really likely to get constipated as well. So that was my spiel on the TV diets and supplements. They're great if you don't want to do the work. However, they're not really helping the overall you. They're just telling you, here's what to eat, and you'll do whatever, and you'll lose weight. It doesn't help foster you and the really what you want and what you need. All right, so lastly, intermittent fasting. Now, I'm not completely opposed to intermittent fasting, but there's some things that you should know about it. If you're somebody who likes to go out to eat a lot with your friends, like let's say 8 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock at night, and you're doing a 16-hour fast where you can only eat between 11 a.m. and let's say 7 p.m., then that's not going to work for you. Also, if you're somebody who really, really likes to have breakfast in the morning and that's what works for you, it's not going to work for you because a lot of times the fasts don't say that you can eat until 11 and 12 o'clock. They also kind of tell your body, let's spare the food that we have and we'll use it when we need it. So it's kind of playing with your metabolism as well. It goes really against the whole 6 small meals a day or eating 3 meals and snacks. It kind of restricts on what you're having. It will work if you're in a calorie deficit, but it's not the best thing. It's not something that I really am a big, strong proponent for. I'll do it sometimes, say we're going out for a big dinner later and we're having brunch. So yesterday I really didn't have anything for breakfast because I knew we were going to have a big brunch. And that's just using more so my calories wisely than saying I can only eat between these hours and anything else beyond that is going to make me gain weight. Or it's not even true if you say, oh, I can't eat past 7 because it's going to make me gain weight. Your body will utilize the energy. You burn calories while you sleep. If you exercise that day, your metabolism's boosted anyways. So it doesn't make sense. What does make sense is working with somebody that can meet you where you're at, help you build a plan that's going to work for you, and then help lead the way through different goals that you set. Not any of these TV diets, cleanses, detoxes, not any of the Nutrisystems of the world, not keto, not paleo. None of that is looking out for the well-being of you. It's just trying to provide you with a quick fix. So a little recap. Things you want to be cautious for if you're considering a diet. If it promises rapid weight loss, it's going to be muscle loss and water loss. If it's saying that you don't need to exercise, that's not true. Especially for women, we need to be in a calorie deficit and exercise to really see a weight loss. Number 3, there is rigid meal plans and snack plans that aren't flexible to you and what you like and your goals. Number 4, there's specific food combinations which aren't true. You don't need to pair your rutabaga with the chicken in order to see fat loss. That's not true. There's no scientific research. That's not even a word, scientific research, that supports that. So just put that out the window. Also, unlimited amounts of some food or restriction of others. That doesn't really help with the overall relationship with food, and you could still go crazy on rice. And if you don't have a variety in your diet, you're going to be deficient in some nutrients, so that's not good. And number 6, sorry, I can't count. Number 6, a very low calorie diet. You are only hurting yourself in the long run. Your body's going to start to turn towards your protein stores, so you're going to lose your muscles, and then your body will turn towards fat. And the same thing with keto. You're gonna use muscle and protein stores if you're on the keto diet. That weight loss is gonna be likely in the beginning from water weight, and then it's not sustainable over time because who really only wants to be eating avocados for the rest of their life? Something you gotta think, is this something I can only do for the next 90 days or the next 90 years? Also, the side effects that come with keto. So like fatigue, muscle cramps, weakness, gas, rashes can occur, constipation, bad breath, headache, nausea, not sustainable, Not my number one choice, not any of my choices whatsoever. And then lastly, the TV diets and also the shakes and bars. The TV diets, they're going to be loaded with preservatives because they're shipping you your meals. Not worth it. Going to be high in sodium. You're going to get bloated. They don't help you build healthy habits that last. Working with a practitioner like myself does. Also, meals are expensive and a short-term fix. They don't help you in the long run. They're not teaching you anything. It's just giving you the food to eat and saying, the rest is up to you. You got to do the rest. Also, they don't teach you about healthy foods or portion sizes because everything is pre-portioned. So let's say you went out to dinner with your friends and there was a big bowl of pasta. You just ate the whole bowl because you didn't realize how much you're eating. There's no literature, there's nothing showing you how much or how big a portion size is. And it doesn't give you a tailored plan. It's a blanket thing saying that this is probably how many calories you're gonna need and this is what the food looks like. Shakes and bars, there's no variety, and variety is the spice of life. And there's very little fiber, so you're gonna become constipated and uncomfortable. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments as you're watching this. Remember,